Gene, why don't we hear from you a little bit?
Well, my story isn't here this long. I was with the 381st Bomb Group in the 8th Air Force. I trained for 15 months in the States and got to fly one mission, and I got shot down. And I was captured by the Germans after we parachuted into the streets of Cologne. And I spent 14 months in the German prison camp. And with all the good food they fed us, I weighed 155 pounds when I was shot down and 119 pounds when I got out. And other than that, why, there isn't much to tell about my war experience.
You were a radio?
I was a radio operator
on the B-17?
On the B-17, yes, and shot down on the first mission.
Okay. How were you wounded? Or?
Yes, 7 of the 10 were hit, 1 was killed, and 6 others of us were hit with flak.
Do you still make contact with any of the guys?
No, not really. It's been a couple years since I heard from one of the crew, but time has dulled a lot of the memories, and everyone went in different directions.
In different directions.
And I think about them a lot, but I haven't seen them for a long time.
All right. Why don't we hear from Mr. Bob Wiesler?
Yes.
I'm Bob Wiesler, Sergeant with the 455th Bomb Group, 15th Air Force in Italy. And we started our training in Boise, Idaho, then went to Scottsbluff, Nebraska, then to Langley Field, and picked up our crew and our ship there and headed down to the tip of Florida, where we added some more gear to the ship and headed towards Belém, South America. And from there we flew overseas to Fortaleza, North Africa, and ended up in Tunis. Stayed there for a couple of weeks till they got the landing mats down on our field. It wasn't ready for us to ship in then. And we were one of the first crews to land on that landing mat. And when we hit that mat, we thought our plane had lost its gear. We didn't know we were going to land on mats. It scared the daylights out of us. But from then on, it was, I'd say it was a piece of cake compared to with some of the other. We had a 456 bomb group across the field from us that in 3 months' time, they had a complete change of personnel. They were shot down that much and either lost it on takeoff or on landings or over the target. And we only lost 3 ships in our 47 missions that we were there. And I felt very, very lucky. Got home in good shape and married a wild woman here in Marion.
Married a wild woman here in Marion, all right. Now, being a bomber on the plane that you were on, you guys were basically fully loaded. Where did you sit in the plane?
On takeoff, we were up against the bulkhead that's was part of the bomb bays, and I don't know what good it did in case we crashed it, but it felt good to sit there on takeoff. And the worst part of that takeoff was it was slightly uphill with a full load of bombs and gasoline. Some of them didn't make it, but we had a good pilot. He and I were the same age. We were the oldest ones on the crew. I was 26 and Earl was 26. And the rest of the guys were 18 and 19-year-old guys. And geez,
just boys.
Boys. I mean, we didn't know our navigator was 19 until on our way across over the ocean. And he told us he just celebrated his 19th birthday. And I thought, man, how did we ever make it with a kid like that guiding us over? But we made her all right.
How many bombs did you usually carry?
10, 500s.
Oh, boy. They were big ones.
Sometimes we had, I forget now what they call them now. They were shrapnel type of bombs that once they hit the ground, they just scattered. It was anti-personnel against the troops that were trying to help out there at the Anzio beachhead. And we had several of those missions to help them out, but I don't think we did too good because we were bombing through clouds, and it was just a hit-and-miss affair. But we felt good about it.
Jim?
Yes, ma'am.
Why don't we hear from you a little bit?
Well, I joined the service in 1939. I was stationed at Wright Pat Air Force Base. And from there, I was sent to Selfridgefield, Michigan. From Selfridgefield, Michigan, I went to Springfield, Massachusetts. And then from there, I went to Fort Bragg, North Carolina. From there, I got on the SS Brazil and in 42. And we took off and went down to around Havana, and then cut across the Accra, Africa. From Accra, Africa, we went to Cape Town, Port Elizabeth, and back up through Madagascar Straits. Half of the outfit went to North Africa, the other half went to India. And on that, then we went to Chubba, India. That's on the Burma frontier. And things were rough. We got 450 inches of rainfall a year.
Wow.
Mosquitoes and anything else you wanted, you had it. The food was terrible.
Now, most of you guys left and you were pretty healthy, and then when you came back, you've lost a lot of weight. Did that happen to you too?
When I was at Fort Bragg, North Carolina, I weighed 210 pounds. When I got back, I weighed 124.
Oh my, I guess so.
And we flew mostly, our missions were flying supplies into the Chinese, and AVG was still in China. And we had a few P-40s, and most of it was transports. We were trying to get ammunition and stuff into the troops in China, and that was the back door. You couldn't get in the front door, but you could in the back door. Mm-hmm. And then they moved B-24s in, and I was a flight engineer on all of them. And I was a flight engineer on 47, 46s, B-24s, 87s, and C-54s.
Oh.
And it was a good job.
As a flight engineer, what did you have to do?
Pilot on a takeoff, landing by guys, had his hands full by guys, watching the runway. And I controlled the gear up, flaps, and called out airspeeds to him. And on landing on the B-24, we'd have to walk back through the bomb bay and check the yellow marks on the wheels, make sure that they're down and locked. Then you have to go back down on the nose wheel, make sure that was locked down and locked. Get back up and then you pat him on the shoulder.
Everything's okay.
Everything's okay.
That's a long way, up and down and back up front again.
Yes, you have to do it though. Sometimes the bomb bay doors are open too by guys, so it's kind of risky.
Yeah, that's.
Shoot.
I told us to stay away from those when we were flying yesterday, so I can see why.
Yeah. Then I come back to the States from India and China. I was stationed at Homestead, Florida, and that's what my crew and I, that's all we did was instruct single engine pilots how to fly B-24s. And that was a good job.